When you think of a pet store, what comes to mind? Is it cute puppies like these just waiting to come home? Unfortunately, according to the Simon Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to preventing cruelty in animals, 98% of pet stores get their puppies from puppy mills or other questionable sources. What you don't see in these pictures are the mothers and fathers of these puppies who never get to leave the mills, or the puppies that maybe the pet store didn't want. These ones are their pictures. Pennsylvania is actually one of the top 7 states for puppy mills, and according to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, since the year 2000, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania has had the highest concentration of puppy mills of any county in the country. That's earned it the nickname of the puppy mill capital of the East. I'm currently a volunteer at Center County Paws, which takes in strays, abandoned animals, and those that have been victims of cruelty, and because of this, I've decided to talk to you today about puppy mills. I'm going to be telling you what exactly a puppy mill is, what goes on at these places, where they're located, and what a new law was supposed to do to help this situation. This is all to help you and educate you so that you don't end up with a puppy mill dog at any time in your future. Now, what exactly is a puppy mill? These are large commercial dog breeding facilities that are focused completely on profit. The mother dogs are bred over and over to make the most money, and when they can't produce any more puppies, they're often auctioned off or killed. Quantity is preferred over quality, and because of this, genetic records of dogs are often falsified. If you go to a pet store, a lot of times they'll tell you that this puppy comes with papers. If you follow up on the address on these papers, usually they'll lead you straight to a puppy mill, and they won't even let you in to see the puppy's parent. Another issue with the breeding is that sick dogs are not usually removed from the breeding pool. According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, that puppy in the pet store window could have a number of disorders, including musculoskeletal, endocrine, blood, or respiratory problems. These can include anemia, diabetes, or even hip dysplasia. Those are just a few from a much longer list. And to have such serious problems, these puppies can't be treated well. They're often living in crowded cages that are stacked one on top of the other with wire flooring. This is so all of the waste material falls to the bottom for easier cleanup. And an undercover investigation that was done by the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals into a Kansas puppy mill unearthed some kind of disturbing results. These are some excerpts from the investigator's notes, and I just want to draw your attention to the fact that employees working at these mills have broken dogs' legs trying to pull them out of cages and have found dead animals that have already been dead for days, just laying in the barn. And these mills aren't only in other countries. These mills are here. They're really local. Like I mentioned before, they're in a majority of 7 states, including this one. And Lancaster County has a puppy mill trade valued at around $4 million. And if you think that's bad, Missouri is the #1 state. All 40% of puppies sold in pet stores are from Missouri puppy mills, and the state itself contains over 3,000 facilities. This is according to a September 21st article by the ASPCA in the Centre Daily Times. And in 2008, this was all supposed to change with the implementation of a new dog law. Chris Togneri writes about this law in a September 12th article in the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. The law was supposed to ban wire flooring, double cage size, prohibit stacking cages vertically, and require all dogs to have access to an outdoor exercise area. Also, they said that only veterinarians would be allowed to euthanize dogs. This last part was added after 2 mill owners shot and killed 80 of their dogs after not doing well on an inspection. And this law was actually partially revoked this past July, and the same article by Chris Togneri quotes a puppy mill owner complaining about some of these requirements. Elmer Fisher from Gordonville stated in the article that he made about $50,000 a year with 50 or so dogs, and that he had to close his kennels because it was too expensive to upgrade them based on new requirements. He also says that this would force hardworking farmers out of the puppy mill business. One law, like that Pennsylvania dog law, could have made a difference if it was enforced. Unfortunately, waivers have been given to kennels, and a lot of regulations have been passed. They don't have to adhere by these laws at all. So something obviously has to be done about this. You don't want to walk into a pet store and take home a puppy who's sick or is going to get sick, or one whose parents never get to run around outside. These conditions are really terrible, and they're far from being solved. And until they are, dogs are going to continue to suffer. If people continue to remain unaware about this and nothing is done, 11,000 dogs will die tomorrow and the next day and the day after.